What do you think this means for this community to see guilty verdicts today and for this chapter of it to now be closed? We know we still have sentencing ahead.
Julia, I'm so happy you brought that up. I want to say something about what you brought up, right? There are other ramifications to this case, right? I had a client one time who, great father, right, lost a child in a tragic accident. Child Protective Services were dealing with him for a month, right? They were investigating, are your other kids safe, right? Right. And he hired me. So my point is, every single time a child has any type of an ailment in the custody of a parent, state authorities aggressively investigate that parent if that parent still has custody of that kid or has any other kids, right? I'm not to pile on, but there was a long trail for an investigative authority to really look at this man as a father. It did not have to culminate in her dying. So to me, in my opinion, I'm glad you brought it up, because what's going to happen in the state of New Hampshire, you're going to see probably a law passed called the Montgomery law, something of that nature, right? There's probably changes already afoot, and if they're not done, they're going to be done now, where the authorities in New Hampshire are going to be very aggressive going forward whenever there's any allegation that a child is abused, and they're going to be very quick to pull custody of those parents. That mother also has some responsibility, right? She could have raised the alarms even more aggressively for him to lose custody. She was living in the back of a car with him. That's sad. That's very sad. So as a commentator on the law, I can tell you, in my opinion, my legal judgment, right? I think the system there failed that young girl. She was supposed to be like, she was failed by people who did not intend her harm, but were neglectful. So you're going to see changes in New Hampshire, and for the better, right? There's, what do they call Amber Alerts now when a child is kidnapped, right? They were brought online because of, I forget her first name, her last name, but Amber, the young girl who was kidnapped, right? These were brought online, and kids have been saved now because of the Amber Alerts, right? We all get it on the cell phone, right? Whatever you're doing, you're interrupted, and then you get this blaring alarm telling you, hey, look out for a Toyota, green, a child, a female, blonde hair. So you're going to see something like that in New Hampshire with this because of this tragedy.